Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. How's everybody doing? We're going to start with our first year, Davar Yafeh B'itai, connecting the parsha to the Zman Hashana. So, Baruch Hashem, this is already our fifth week, and Adhina Azarunu Rachamecha, the Rebbe Hashem has given us good, compelling material until now, and we're mispalel. We should be able to continue this project and be mavarich al hamugmar and to complete it. So I want to pull up the Marmakaimas again for those who want to receive their Marmakaimas to their inbox. You could subscribe to our emails. Go to our site rabbidg.com and subscribe, and you'll get all the Marmakaimas and all the information regarding the Shiurim. Okay, Parshas Chayei. The very clear and compelling connection between Chayei and the time of the year is the death of Sarah itself. Actually, if you look in the Medrash tells us something very interesting. I didn't quite remember it this way because I was remembering the Targum Sheni on Megillas Esther. But we know that Haman made a geiral to be able to determine when would be the appropriate month to try to destroy the Jewish people, Chas v'Shalom. And the geiral came out on the month of Adar. But he tried to determine the suitability of other months. So, for example, Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, Teves, and he tried Cheshvan. And the Medrash says that it was unsuccessful. Cheshvan would not be an appropriate month to be able to destroy Klal Yisrael because we're protected during Cheshvan. Now I had remembered that Cheshvan were protected because it's the month that Hashem saved Noach from the Mabul. But interestingly, that's what the Targum says. However, the Medrash says that the month of Cheshvan we were protected because of the Zechus of Sarah Imenu. In the merit of Sarah Imenu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu protected the Jewish people. Sarah died in that month. So you might ask, why is the fact that Sarah died during Cheshvan a protection for Klal Yisrael this month? So the Eitz Yosef explains that why did Sarah die? She died through the Akedah. She died through a mitzvah. So it's considered a merit for her. So Rabbi Say, be it as it may, it's really unbelievable. Because that means the whole subject matter of Parshas Chayei is the zechus that protects us during this month. Let's stop and appreciate that for a moment. The entire subject matter of this week's Parsha is the subject that protects us during this month. Now let's just explain it a little bit further in light of an idea that we once mentioned from the Chidah, that Avraham Avinu was asked to take Yitzchak on the Akedah, but it says, V'leikim Nisa es Avraham. The Chidah brings an opinion that Hashem was even asking Avraham to shecht himself. Do you remember that subject that we spoke about a few years ago? That this wasn't only an Akedah for Yitzchak, it was an Akedah for Avraham as well. And ultimately God said, I don't want Yitzchak and I don't want you either. And we connected it to the Zohar HaKadosh, that when it says Sarah died B'Kiryas Arba, she died saying the four words of Shema, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And we explained that Sarah said to herself, if God did not accept Yitzchak, if God did not accept Avraham, I will offer my soul to God. So in a certain sense, Sarah's death was not just she died in shock. She actually gave up her life. And in that merit, we are protected in this month. So the entire subject matter of Sarah's death, not just her hearing about the Akedah, but her literally giving up her life, is our protection in the month of Cheshvan. Another very beautiful connection, my friend Reb Eliezer Levi, Rabbi Yisrael Eliezer Levi, shared with me that in one of the Mefarshim on the Medrash, he brings that there's an opinion the Akedah took place on Yom Kippur. You know, it's a machlokes when the Akedah took place. Some say Rosh Hashana, some say Yom Kippur, and some say the month of Nisan. But assuming the Akedah took place on Yom Kippur, so then when did Avraham and Yitzchak get home after the Akedah? They returned on the 13th day of Tishrei. On that day, it was reported to Yitzchak that Rivka was born. And in Masechta Sofrim it says that when Eliezer got to Rivka, she was 3 years old and 3 days, which means that he got to Rivka on the second day of Sukkot, because it was exactly 3 years and 3 days after Avraham and Yitzchak came back from the Akedah. Now, in Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer he brings, how long did it take Eliezer to get back from Haran back to Avraham in Eretz Yisrael? It takes normally 17 days. Now, did Eliezer have Kfitzas Haderach when he was going back? Or did he not have Kfitzas Haderach? There are various opinions. The Targum Yonasan and others seems to say he did. But Pashtos, he didn't. There are Mefarshim that say he did not. He only had on the way there. So if he met Rivka on the second day of Sukkot, and he returned 17 days later, that means he got back to Avraham in Cheshvan. And in what month did Yitzchak marry Rivka? Cheshvan. So it's really amazing. The entire story of Chayei Sarah took place in the month of Cheshvan. From the death of Sarah Imenu to the marriage of Yitzchak and Rivka. That means Yitzchak and Rivka got married 17 days after the 16th day of Cheshvan. That's why people wanted to know, why did I got married in Cheshvan? Now you know, because that was the month of Yitzchak and Rivka. Even I didn't know I got married in Cheshvan until I just said this Sfar Torah. You know, you learn new things every day. But it comes out that the most celebrated shidduch that is discussed in the Torah took place in the month of Cheshvan. Now, so a very interesting idea that most years, or many years, Parshas Chayei Sarah is Shabbos Mevarchim Kislev. Now, how do you spell Kislev? Kislev is typically spelled Kaf Samach Lamed Vav. But there is a approach that you could spell with a yud. Kaf Samach Lamed Yud Vav. What's the gematria of Kaf Samach Lamed Yud Vav? It's 127. That's why the years of Sarah. So therefore, Parshas Chayei Sarah, 127 years, is connected to the Shabbos that were Mevarchim Kislev. That's what my friend Reb Rafal Ansel of France, he showed me this gematria. I saw last night from the Keren Yeshua of the son of the Bnei Yissaschar in his Mamarim on Kislev, he says the gematria of Vayiyu Chayei Sarah Mea Shana, the gematria of those words, Vayiyu Chayei Sarah Mea Shana, those 5 words, the gematria is 945, is the same gematria as Rosh Chodesh Kislev. That's pretty interesting, that the numerical value of Vayiyu Chayei Sarah Mea Shana is the same gematria as Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So you'll ask, but it's not the same gematria. I knew you'd ask that question. But it's just a question. But you say, but it's off by 26. He says exactly, the gematria of Vayiyu Chayei Sarah, besides the letters of the Shem Havaya, apparently that's the system of gematria. I have to admit, I was not familiar with this system of gematria, but you could do a gematria and take out the Shem, any letters that are in the Shem Havaya. It has the same gematria as Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So, we, Baruch Hashem, uncovered some very compelling connections between Parshas Chayei Sarah and the Zman Hashana. Be'ezus Hashem, you have a whole week to think of further connections between Parshas Toldos. I think Parshas Toldos will be a very important bridge, because once we get to Vayetze, there's a lot of good stuff regarding Chanukah. But Toldos we need some help. We need tefillah. We need siyata d'shmaya to be able to continue this seder b'kedusha. Okay, let's move on to the next shir.